Hi, everybody. This is the Baseball Head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, and welcome back to the Baseball Head 2. I hope you like this video and hit that subscribe button. As you know, if you didn't realize it, America's going through a revolution, casting off government in the way, and hopefully breaking the bonds of a lot of stuff that we've had to deal with for over 100 years. The Pentagon the other day had taken down a lot of, former military people off their website, and part of it was to not classify and highlight their race and their gender and stuff, because they wanted it all be about the individual. They don't want to be about what you look at on the outside and what you do in your personal lives. Now, I'm reading this article from USA Today. I've not read it. I'm going to read it to you first. We'll read it together. And it's interesting how they place this and how they frame this. It seems that MLB is, let me read the headline. MLB removes diversity from job website in response to Trump's DEI purge. Now, I would mention, MLB is a private situation. So already, right off the bat, they're lying. MLB does not want any more problems that they've gotten over the last few years. Trump called them out about a month ago when it came to reinstating Pete Rose and getting him in the Hall of Fame. So this has less to do with that and more to do with Trump embarrassing them. They don't want Trump embarrassing them. Did you see Trump at the NCAA wrestling match getting cheered? So anybody watching this video think that you hate him? Nobody else does, other than you, if you hate this video. But let me read you this article, and I've not read it. I'm going to go through this together, and you'll get my honest reaction as I go through it. Major League Baseball removed references to diversity from its careers website. The latest organization to acquiesce to the Trump administration's executive order aiming to purge diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives in America. They meant in the government, okay? All right, they meant in the government. They meant any money that's going into the government, they want that purged. They went after NCAA, saying that men cannot compete in women's competitions. They basically every school has done away with it. There might be a couple of rogue schools here and there. And there was only one state that was really fighting them, and that was Maine, and they gave in. Quote, our values and diversity remain unchanged, MLB said a statement on Friday. Now, the media is all aghast at this. This is the mainstream media. It's all aghast at this. But I would mention, Trump is doing what everybody wants. 77 million people are telling him what to do. We're all telling him what to do. This is what we want. We shouldn't be pushing race over merit. Quote, we are in the process of evaluating our programs for any modifications to eligibility criteria that are needed to ensure our programs are compliant with federal laws. They continue forward. They don't want to get in trouble for discriminating against anybody. That's the one thing they're very concerned about. All these companies are concerned about that, I will say that. CupOfCoffeeNews.com was the first to report the changes of MLB's website. This sounds shady. Our values, particularly the values and diversity, remain unchanged. But another value that's pretty important to us is we always try to comply with what the law is. This is not a law, by the way. This was an executive order. Unless they're talking about, quality laws, which have always been on the books, which they broke for 5 years. That's a possibility. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said last month after an owners meeting, there seems to be an evolution going on here. We're following that very carefully. Obviously, when things get a little more settled, we'll examine each of our programs and make sure that while the values remain the same, they're also consistent with what the law requires. They're scared shitless because they know, again, and I know you all baseball fans here, baseball's in a lot of trouble. The real disconnect with the fans. And the fans are very angry about what's going on in Major League Baseball with all the robo umpires and all this other bullshit. I mean, the announcers can wax it poetic as much as they want. But if we had better umpires, we wouldn't be needing all this replay and all these robots to help them. That's for sure. In 2023, a right-wing legal group founded by Trump advisor Stephen Miller brought a complaint against MLB with what the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission alleging that baseball's diversity pipeline program, diversity fellowship program, diversity and ticket sales training program, and they've got a ticket sales program, and the diverse business partners program were racially discriminatory. Interesting. MLB is just one of many companies that Miller's America's First Legal has taken action against over DEI policies in recent years. It's interesting. You get like all these different other people that are lawyers that do the opposite, and these people don't write an article on it. Early in the week, it was discovered that Trump's Department of Defense, which is going to go back to the original name of the Department of War, had taken down a webpage celebrating the military achievements of Jackie Robinson, who broke MLB's color barrier in 1947. The page was later restored, and the Pentagon blamed the use of artificial intelligence to the content being mistakenly removed amidst the department's scrubbing. Now, if I understand, somebody was reassigned, was taken down by accident. But more importantly, MLB has been in trouble really since the pandemic. They signed this deal with Communist China and Nike. They shipped jobs, folks. They shipped jobs over to China. You remember, we used to have 7 minor league teams for every major league team. And that's been basically reduced to officially 4. 1 in AAA, 1 in AA, and 2 in single A. Okay? And anything else, any of the players that play, they either play in the Dominican Republic or they play in their either in the Florida complexes or the Arizona complexes. So they did away with like over half the minor league system has been gone. Those jobs got shipped off to China. Okay. Last year, everybody complained about the uniforms, except for me, of course. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But the uniforms were garbage because they were being made in China, being made by slave labor in China. You know, Trump knows this. This is why he went after them about a month ago when it came to Pete Rose. And we've not heard any update from Major League Baseball when it comes to Pete Rose. They will jump when President Trump says something about it because he said he was going to say something soon. But he's got a lot on his plate, obviously. He's got a ton on his plate. But MLB has had a disconnect with the fans for a long time. This particular commission's had a disconnect. It started with the whole situation with the Astros. Every fan of every team wanted to see those Astros get punished. They never did get punished. Okay? MLB knew what the situation was. They didn't need to make a deal with the union to punish the players. They could have done that anyway. You know. And there's still cheating going on in baseball. We know that. Also, they're sweeping under the rug all these scandals involving Shohei Ohtani. That sort of gets swept under the rug. This whole thing with the interpreter. This whole thing about how he's able to perform at the level that he does when no player in the history of baseball has ever done what he has done. And that includes Babe Ruth. And other people in the majors. Like Barry Bonds never did this kind of stuff. So you wonder what's going on there with this particular player. And no one in baseball says, well, what is he doing that's different? Because we'd like to be able to get other players to do what he does. That's able to pitch and to hit on his when he's not on the mound. No one ever asked that in Major League Baseball. None of the announcers, very few fans talk about it. I talk about it here. But no one mentions it. And of course, we got all this sort of technology involved in the game. I don't think it's made anything better. The only thing I will say that's better is they got rid of the shift. And they've sped up the game. Other than those 2 things, everything they've done has been a disaster. The biggest problem on the field is with these umpires. These umpires are terrible, and they've been terrible. We don't complain about Angel Hernandez, but there's still bad umpires in the game. You know, they did not punish any of these umpires that have done a lousy job, and they continue not to. Well, let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. And I'll see you later.